Okay. Thank you all for joining me here today. Today's class, we're going to be talking about print marketing. We're going to be talking about two different types of print marketing here today. One within our design section of KW Command, and one within our campaigns section of KW Command. So first, what we're going to do here, if you guys can see my screen, we're going to sign into agent.kw.com, and we're going to use our KW username and password. Once we have that, we'll go ahead and sign in here, and it should take us to the command homepage. Now, please feel free throughout this training here to use the chat box down below and ask any questions that you may have regarding today's topic, and we should be able to help address them as we move along here today. Now, as we are talking about print marketing, we're going to first want to make sure that our agent information is set up. So when we go ahead and create these marketing pieces, we will have that information ready on hand. We can do that by clicking on our name on the top right-hand corner here. And it should bring a drop down. And we're going to be looking for the settings button right here. It looks like a gear icon. We'll wait for this to load in here. And on this next page, we are going to be looking at the left-hand side at these drop-downs. We're going to find Connect Settings here. We'll give that a click. And then there should be only one option that reads Marketing Profile. So we'll go ahead and give this a click here. And here we should see all of our agent information. So if I'll scroll down, you'll see our headshot here, our team logo, first name, last name, as well as some additional information like your bio, your phone number, as well as your email and website. Now, you can feel free to update any of this information here. And at the very bottom, there should be a save button right here. We'll go ahead and hit save. And this will give us a pop-up that says that our marketing profile was successfully saved. What's cool about this marketing profile section here is we don't have to keep reapplying our phone number, our email, our headshot onto our marketing pieces. This will actually do its job on the back end here and pull these data pieces into our marketing. So we want to make sure that use my information to brand my agent site is toggled on to green. I know it says agent site here, but think of this as use my information to brand my marketing. Because this is how this toggle button is how we will get this information onto our design pieces. So once we have our marketing profile set up, we're going to go ahead and click on the red KW square in the top left-hand corner. And it should open up our drop-down menu. So now we can read our left-hand sections a little bit easier. And we're going to be making our way first to designs here. It's going to be third from the bottom. And this is going to be how we create these marketing pieces. Our campaigns are going to be how we send marketing pieces out. And we'll get to this here in a minute when it comes to our print marketing. But let's check out our designs page. Inside of our designs page, we have an option on the top right here that says Create Design. We'll go ahead and click on this button here. And it should give us a pop-up to create 4 different types of marketing content. So we have an email type, a social media type, a print type, and a video type. And since we are teaching the print marketing here today, we are going to be selecting the print option and then continue here. Now, before I click on continue, we do have a checkbox right here that allows us to import photos as well as text information about a specific listing. So if we know that we're already going to be creating a piece of print marketing for a listing, we may be able to click on this checkbox right here and then continue. And it should give us an option to pull a listing in to help us create this piece of marketing as well. I'm going to uncheck this for now, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on continue. And as this page loads up here, we'll see on the left-hand side a number of different drop-downs. And on the right-hand side should be some images that show us what these templates look like. So on the left-hand side here, I'm going to scroll down. So we see we have a number of different drop-downs depending on the type of flyers or print marketing that you want to create. I'm going to go ahead and click on listings right here. And when you expand this drop-down, you have even more options to choose from. So here we have our coming soon flyers. We have our for sale, just listed, just sold. For those of you who are looking for your presentations, we have our listing presentations right here. Underneath our buyer right here will be our buyer presentations. But for now, let's stick with let's just do a for sale. Let's just stick with a for sale. Now, when you select an option on your drop down right here, on your right hand side, we do see a number of different templates to choose from. But before we start scrolling through here and checking out all these templates, we have some more options to organize or really specifically filter the print materials to what we are looking for. So here we have door hangers. So if I were to click on this right here, it just filters out the door hanger templates for me. If I were to click on flyers, you'll have those flyers right here. Then you have your standard postcards. So you also have your bifolds and trifolds. We'll see that right there, that you can split and fold. But we're going to go ahead and do a flyer here. And let's just choose, let's see. Let's go ahead and choose this one right here. Now, I chose this template because I think it would be a great demonstration because it has some pictures, it has some text, as well as some additional information right here. So we can really work with this template and customize it to our specific listing. So on the left-hand side, you'll have all of your editable tools. And on the right-hand side will be your actual template that we are currently customizing. So for example, if I were to click on this for sale text right here, it should create a box around it with 1, 2, 3, 4 dots around the corners. And then you also have some dots in the center. What we can do with this, if you click on the center dots, we can expand this. Or the angle dots, we can make it larger or smaller. And it looks like I clicked on the background instead of the actual text here. But that's okay because I wanted to show you how we can kind of change this as well. So say if you, are not a big fan of this dark black text right here, or, say it may not be the best for print, we can actually fade that a little bit more right here. or we can swap it out even with a different image. Whoops. There we go. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and click on each one of these, and it looks like each for sale has been, I'm going to back out here. Well, it looks like it had a little bit of a technical error right here and kind of got rid of our text. But fear not, I can simply go ahead and back out since I didn't do too much with it just yet. We can go ahead and just refresh this and select it again, and it should just work fine for us. There we go. We'll click on this for sale again. There we go. And you do have a pop-up. Certain print marketing does allow you to order print directly. We'll get to that here in a minute. But something to keep in mind that you do have that option here as well. So again, we'll get to that when we're ready and finished with our design template. But we can go ahead and click on the actual text right here. And if we want, we can enlarge the font. Let's say do 18. Do it a little bit larger here, do a 30 font. And as you see, it kind of smushed it over here, but I can just simply drag that out. There we go. And now we can start to actually change our text over. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this for sale. And again, it does look like each one of these are an individual letter, but again, we can go ahead and change that accordingly. We can simply do that by clicking this text option right up here. We'll click on this title right here, and it should open up a title text box for us right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and double click. I'm going to write for sale again. I'm going to click off of that, and then we'll just drag this over. Here we go. Now we can actually make this a little bit more malleable. And then, of course, we'll change our color scheme to white. And then we'll start to have that over top of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete each one of these texts right here. And then I'm going to just drag my for sale up top right here. Now, full disclosure, most of the time you will not have to delete those individual text letters, but every once in a while, depending on the type of template that you choose, there may or may not be some small little quirks. So we have for sale right here. Let's change this font so it looks a little bit smoother. We can do that by clicking on the actual text object. And then once we click on a text object, it gives us very similar to, say, like a Microsoft Word or a Word doc editable tools. So here we can bold, we can underline, and depending on the font that we choose, we may have some more additional options. For this specific font, we may not be able to italicize, but let's go ahead and see if we can change our font here to something a little bit different and see if that will actually give us the option to italicize. So unfortunately, this one does not as well, but they have a number of different fonts to choose between. All right, give me just a second here. I'm going to read the chat box for you guys. We can definitely jump into checking out what a postcard may look as well. So, so if you guys want, after we're done creating this template, we can jump in and create that postcard so you guys can see that front and back. I can more than happy to do that for you. How do you make a border as well? So what's cool about that is if you click off of the actual object right here, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 different things that we can choose between. We have drawing, shapes, frames, and text. So you do have frames are going to be for images, for pictures. So here you can add different pictures for different kind of shapes and styles. Shapes right here is going to give you your different kind of like side border images like right here, or if you wanted to have any kind of like blocks or circles, squares, anything to kind of I don't know, highlight your marketing a little bit more or your text blocks a little bit more. I'm going to delete this right here, but you also have an option on off to the left that is elements, logos, and these are going to give you some additional options as well. So if we click on, I think it's elements, you have all of these different other types of images that we can choose as well. So right here, I'm going to go from all, and you may have an option right here that says borders as well. So here we can kind of border our templates a little bit nicer. Here's a cool little music border that we can choose. So again, if you want to highlight a podcast or something similar to that, you have that as well. But this would be how you'd get those kind of borders or different types of images on your flyer here. As you saw right here, I accidentally moved my background image, and this may happen from time to time, but we can simply lock this background image by clicking this top right lock movement, and that should help you not be able to kind of move this around if you don't want to. So now I can actually focus on clicking this border that I added and kind of change that over. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more right here. And as we can see, this text is pretty small. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this text right here. I'm not really going to mess with the font too much. I'm just going to mess with this arrow, and I'm just going to drag this out a little bit more right here. Perfect. This one right here. See, I'm going to drag this out right here, and then I'm going to use the center, and then I'm just going to kind of squish it so it kind of fits with that first text block. I'm going to shrink it up just a little bit more. And so now we can kind of start to rearrange a little bit. So I kind of cut off this last little piece of text right here, but we can drag that to the bottom, and then we can start dragging all of our different images to the bottom as well. We'll zoom up a little bit more. Can you use the same templates for an email campaign? So when you are using these templates, just know that unless you duplicate the template, whatever you edit, you're kind of editing that hard copy, that original copy. So just keep in mind, if you're using the same template for multiple different campaigns and smart plans and things like that, it may be wise to create a couple duplicates just in case if you have a certain information that you want added or removed via the different flyers. So how do you make a basic black border? Truthfully, I would just scroll down here until we find something very similar to this, like a black frame right here. But you should also be able to change that color scheme as well. So I just clicked this one right here that has a little bit of extra designs. And then as we see this right here, there we go. I'll click on this border here. We can also change the color as well. When you click on that object, again, take a look at the top here. You may find some additional options depending on what it is that you click. So for the text blocks, you get the Microsoft Word kind of options. For these ones right here, for the borders, you may have, let's see if we can reselect it here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. There we go. Here we have a difference, like we can change the stroke color, we can change the fill color, and here we can kind of really make it our own. So the stroke color would be the actual lines. So if I want to change this red here, and then the fill color would be the inside. Depending on the different objects that you choose, the fill and the stroke colors, you may have a few options to change the colors, or you may just have, say, one option. So here we can actually just change that red and change those borders. So let me actually get back to a full view here. I can click on this and click on original view. I'm going to actually remove that border here. I'm going to hit delete here. And again, if you wanted to rebrand this with your information with your listing, say we have this headshot, this stock information down here, we can go ahead and, again, double click to highlight. And I would just replace it with my name here. We would click off again, and then again, we would be able to drag that out or enlarge it with the angle. When it comes to your images here, your background image, as well as your headshot image, we have a few options when it comes to adding these to our flyers here. One of which is going to be the image option on the top left here. And within images, we can click add, and we can connect our Facebook, our Google Drive, but I'm just going to go ahead and add an image from my computer here. Click this, and I have, let's see here. Should have a picture of myself. I'll just add that. And what's cool is it'll load up right here, and I can click and drag this over top of this information. Let me back out for a second here. And click and drag this over top of the information. Now, my mouse did slip. That was a user error, but also keep in mind wherever you're dragging your images, it should hover over the place where it's trying to have that option there. So I'm going to actually drag this over to this headshot right here. And you see it's cut off a little bit. If I were to double click on it, it should open up the rest of that image here for you. So here I can actually shrink this down, and that way it should view the entire image for me, and I can click done right up top here. Now, since I did kind of glitch this system out, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit File on the top left-hand corner. I'm going to hit Save here, and that should say All Saved. We should also rename our files just so we know which template we're using, especially if we are going to create duplicates and re-edit them. So I can name this For Sale Flyer. Please ignore my caps here. And then I can go ahead and hit save or click off of it, and it should save it for me. So even though that my caps are a little bit different here, that should be a great indication to help me find this flyer a little bit more. I'll hit done right here. And as you see, it should say that For Sale Flyer right here. So I'm just going to click on it one more time, jump back in, and hopefully that hopefully it'll give me the rest of my information back. There we go. So same concept happens when we attach the images on the back end too. So I would just take an image of your open house, take an image of your listing and add it here. And then again, you can drag over top. There's another cool thing called assets that we have available here inside of designs as well. And when you load your assets, you can have stock images right here that will always show up. So your headshot will always show up right here for you to be able to quickly drag instead of adding every single time you have that flyer. And how we find those assets is we need to actually get into a design. So we'll click on create design here. We'll click on print one more time and then continue. And once we actually get into this page right here with the drop down, you should see assets at the very top here. And this is where we actually go to add our specific color patterns. So if you and your business have, like, say, a blue, a teal, a pink, a purple with your logo and your color scheme, you can match your palettes right here. So again, when you jump inside of your flyer, you'll quickly have your color palettes that you can choose from right here. Same goes for your images right here. So this is how you see all my different images. So I can go ahead and say delete this one right here. I can click these three dots. I can delete it, duplicate it. And then, of course, I can upload as well on the right-hand side here. So you also have this option when it comes to text. So if you have specific slogans that you always use, your social media links, your even your first name, last name, phone number, those sort of things, we should be able to add these right here again for you to easily click and apply to your flyer. So we also still have logos, we have elements right here, we have videos. So again, you can of course upload these and then flyers as well. Sorry, files as well. Now let's get back to templates here, and let's talk about postcards really quick. So we're gonna actually close this drop down up. We are going to go with what did we do? We did for sale last time. So let's do a buyer this time. And let's do like a neighborhood snap right here. So within this neighborhood snap, we are going to click a postcard right here. And here we should have a couple different options. Now, also keep in mind that you will have, depending on which dropdown you choose, whether it be lead generation, you may have different postcard templates to choose from as well. So it all depends on which dropdown you select right here. So I'm going to click on this one right here. I'm going to click on use. And so right now we have a standard postcard template right here. So right here, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of information. But we also have 2 pages. So if you take a look at the bottom right-hand corner, we do have a pages option right here. If we were to give that a click, you will see your front and back. So here's our 2 different options that we can edit our postcards. So what we'll do again, I'm going to start with the back here. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag my headshot over top of this standard headshot right here. Again, we'll double click on our agent name. And then we'll go ahead and just kind of fill this out right here. So if you click on this text box right here, you can, of course, bold, you can underline, you can really add anything that you want right here. This really kind of gives you a great kind of like sneak preview of what to kind of add when it comes to a neighborhood snapshot postcard. So just a little bit of information on quote unquote Barton Hills right here. So we're going to change this really quickly. I'm going to close up this page section right here, and we're going to take a look at this template. We are first going to change our snapshot information right here. And we can do so by going over to the left-hand side. We can click KWLS, and you'll have 2 options. You'll have listing and snapshots right here. Now, your listing, this would be great for that for sale flyer because we could just add in that 123 Main Street. And this should pull up some listing information. Now, of course, mine was pretty generic, but this would allow you to be able to add your listing onto that flyer there. So, again, pretty cool to have that option there. You also have these snapshots, which we're going to apply to this postcard right here. So I'll click on snapshots. And instead of adding a listing, here we have to search for a neighborhood. Now, we do have these settings right here where we can also search for a postcard, a postal code, and that may be a little bit easier for me. So let's see right here. 97408. Let's see where this kind of takes us. Oh, we have no results. So let me actually X out of that. I'm just going to type in Eugene. Oh, sorry, by neighborhood name. So I do have to change this back. So when I type in Eugene right here, you do see a number of different Eugenes. So here we're going to have to find, or at least filter, narrow down our search by typing in, say, East Eugene. So we have a Southeast Eugene, a Western Eugene. Western Eugene we can select right here. And you see each one of these titles have a drop down. So when you click on the title, it'll give you 3 options for your snapshot information. And we're just going to find the one that is very similar to this. And I think that's going to be this one right here. And we'll go ahead and apply that on top right here. There we go. That's going to load up and it's going to populate with that specific information. Now, again, as you see, it kind of cuts off a little bit right here, but we can always double click. And again, we can shrink it up, make it a little bit more adjustable to, think right there to look its best right here. And then we'll, of course, change this text right here. And our postcard is pretty much done. At this point, we can drag across a picture of a listing that you want to advertise. You can drag across a photo of you and your family, you and your team, you and your happy clients, or just use the stock photo here. And now we're looking pretty good to have this postcard set up. Once we like the way that our postcard looks, we'll go ahead and again rename it. Postcard May 19th. And then that should have saved right here. Whenever I change my text here, I always like to give a second double save just in case. And then I can hit done here. So those are a couple of types of print marketing that we have. So you see it's still generating a thumbnail. One last thing that I forgot to mention when we move over to the print designs is there's going to be some designs that you can order for print and some that are just not available just yet. You may have to download and send off to a publisher like vistaprint.com or something similar to that. But I believe postcards, I believe flyers as well as business cards do allow you the option to order print directly from that design. And you'll see that option right up here on this order print button. Again, keep in mind if you're not seeing this on certain print designs that you're working on, just know it is selective for the time being until they really build out this this cool feature here. We can click order print. And it should pop up a window on the right hand side. And here we have about 3 steps. We can set it up, we can review it, and then we can finalize to send off to print. So first and foremost, we have it looks like it only has cards at this point in time. So again, that is something to keep in mind when it comes to your order print. So it looks like it's just limited to your business cards right here. So so again, still a work in progress right here. Now, we have a question in here. I want to create flyers for an email campaign. So this is a great feature as well. So you have a couple different options. We do have the option to create a design and choose email right here. We do have a separate class for that. But there is one last thing that I do kind of want to showcase that may be a little bit more flashy to add that flyer onto that email is you do have an option right here. It is a relatively new feature within designs, and it's called animation. So once you're done creating your print flyer right here, if you wanted to add this onto your email, I would maybe suggest clicking on animation right here. And if you click on any of these, it can show you kind of like what it would look like as it goes in. So let me slow this down a little bit more. There we go. And then let's just do a zoom out. So as you see right here, we can really kind of turn this flyer into an animation. And then we can download. And then we may download as a video right here to put inside of your email. So you do have that option as well. So I hope that helps answer your question. And again, please feel free to shoot an email out to us, and we can give you some more additional information. All right, let's actually go over to our campaigns here and set up a geographical farm based off of our postcard. So if we click on our red KW square on the top left-hand corner, and then make our way to campaigns here, it's going to look like a megaphone. We'll be taken to our campaign dashboard. And here we're going to go ahead and click on Create Campaign. And within this pop-up here, it should reflect very similar options that we saw within the designs. We're going to choose the direct mail option here. And another pop-up page shows us a campaign name as well as a goal. Now, these are just going to be for us to know what this campaign is for. So I can write anything that I will know and easily pick up on what this direct mail campaign is doing. So I can write snapshot postcard May 19th. So that's pretty standard. So I know exactly what type of direct mail is going out right here. Is that snapshot postcard that we just created. And I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm going to attract, I'm just going to do other right here. And I'm going to click on Create Campaign. And this is going to take us to our direct mail campaign page. And on the left-hand side is going to be all of the different options that we have to create this direct mail campaign. And as we're going through and setting this up, the right-hand side is going to start to populate with the information that we're choosing. So on the left-hand side here, let's go ahead and click on this drop down. You see that we have the name and goal. Again, this is just for us to know what this campaign is for. Nobody else is going to see this but you. Next, we'll click on content right here. And this is where it kind of gets kind of fun. You have two different options when it comes to setting up a postcard. We can select just a generic template that they have in place for us, or we can upload that design that we were currently working on. So if we do select template right here, we have an option to choose within this dropdown 4 different postcard templates. Now we have compact template, which is a 4x6 postcard. We have default template, which is a 6x9 postcard. And then we have 2 large postcards, which is modern and contemporary, which are both a 6x11. Now, if you are creating postcards within your designs, the wording or vernacular may be a little bit different as opposed to here within your campaigns. So I believe the compact postcard is going to be named standard within your designs. Okay, your compact is going to be standard within designs. Your default is going to be your large within designs. So your default is going to be your large. And then within your large is going to be named jumbo within your designs. So your large within campaigns is named jumbo within designs. So when we are going to match all these up, I do believe we created a standard postcard. So I'm going to use the compact 4x6. And then we can go ahead and enter our actual text out right here. So this would be that standard template that we have right here. And what you write out, it will start to reflect on that both front and back of your postcard right here. Now, since we chose a design, let's go ahead and click on Upload Design. Here we have a little bit of statistical information, some stats on what's going to happen with your postcard. So if we scroll down here, it says your design should indicate all relevant information, including your contact info. Images should be a JPEG or PDF format. Front and back need to be separate files. So if we also scroll down right here, it also gives you a card size of the height and width of these different size postcards. So if you want to add just a full size image on your on the back of your postcard, it will need to at least, well, I mean, the maximum it will be is a 1275 by 1875. So if you have an image that's a little bit larger or doesn't fit this quite this shape, it may not load correctly within your postcard here. Now, they also have a great option for us to download our postcard templates. Now, this is a very helpful download for you to be able to kind of see what the sizing looks like and kind of how to see what your what's going to be cut off and what's not going to be cut off. So I'm going to open this up. As we see right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 different images. We have our front and back for our 4x6. We have our front and back for our 6x9, and we have our front and back for our 6x11. And if we give this a click right here, it should show us exactly what's going to be cut off and what to expect when it comes to the final postcard size and how big the file size must be. So the file size must be a little bit larger. So when the postcard configuration goes in and scans this, it'll be able to kind of adjust it to what it should actually be. Now, the reason why I feel like this is important is if you are creating your designs and you're not quite sure where your stamp is going to be, for example, we'd hate to see that stamp go right over, say, your headshot or an important piece of information. So it always kind of is helpful to check out these front and backs to see what is actually going to be represented when you are sending those postcards out. Now, as we scroll down right here, you do have that front and back. So we do have that option to browse and add a front and back image. Since I did not download my design, we are just going to use that standard template right here. So standard front and back. Neighborhood snapshot. Check out listings in your neighborhood. And as you're starting to see this right over here, we'll move this to the front and the back right here, and it'll start to populate this right here. So neighborhood snapshot, we'll see that right there. And then as we're starting to build this out, enter description right here, this will start to add some more additional information. Hello. Hello, we see that listings are on the rise in your neighborhood, and then, fill in with whatever it is that you're currently looking for. We do have the option to upload a photo. Again, since I did not download that as an image here, I really feel like I should go back there and download that. I think we have a few extra minutes, so let's actually go and download our postcard here. We'll take a look at this. We have our postcard. So on the top right here, we're just going to click this download PDF for printing right here. And this is very important right here when you have multiple pages that you want to download. If we click this right here, you do have these additional pages or the all pages right here that you can download. So I'm going to do one at a time. So I'm going to download page 1. It's going to say preparing and then give me a file right here. We'll wait another second. And as that is loading up right here, you'll start to see a downloading. It'll give you a percentage, and then it'll give you your file here. And then I'm going to do my second page. There we go. It's going to be preparing again, and then it's going to download that second PDF. So now I can actually use the postcard that I really wanted to. So I can go back to upload my design. I can browse, and I should be able to find those postcards. So let's see right here. We'll do this one first, and then we can do the second one. Wait for this to load up here. Okay. And then so right here, it does say, please make sure that my height and my width are 1275 by 1875. So again, in order to kind of make sure that we are moving along here in this video, I'm just going to do this standard one right here. We can drag and drop an image. Let's say, we'll have the standard Eugene image right here that we can add. And as we are scrolling down here, you will have that agent information. So here you have that headshot, first name, last name, as well as email and phone number. And this is what is drawing from your marketing profile. So this is why we set up that marketing profile first within our settings, because now we don't have to upload another headshot and add this information all over again. So I'm just going to hit save right here. It's okay. And then next we have our market center. So again, we do just want to make sure that we have our market center information right here, because this will send a postcard to your market center. So you do know what your postcard actually looks like as it's being sent out. Okay. Once I verify my market center address, it may ask me a corrected address or the one that's similar to what I entered. I'm going to click on confirm. And then last but not least, we have our targeting and our budget. So our budget is already auto-generated here, but we'll take a look at this after our targeting. Our target audience right here. So we're just going to want to enter a street address, and then we can kind of do our farming on our next page once we configure our targeting. So I'm just going to use my market center location. Okay. Okay. Or we could also target our database. So if this is a monthly touch that you're sending postcards out to your clients, you could also end up targeting your database as well, or add those additional contacts. I'm going to choose the geo farming here. So I'm just going to add that address. Then last but not least, we have our budget. So how many postcards do you want sent out? And what type do you want? So we only have our first class as our postage type, but we can always increase or decrease our quantity of postcards. So say if I wanted 250 postcards, that would come out to be an estimate of around $160. I'm going to hit save right here. And I hope it looks like all this stuff is set up for us. So we're going to click on configure targeting right here. It says, are you sure you want to create this campaign? We're going to click on yes. And something went wrong on their side. So again, we'll go ahead and maybe save this as a draft. And then we're just going to refresh our page. And then we're just going to try to configure our targeting one more time here. So looks like our snapshot postcard has been saved as a draft. We're just going to refresh our page here and then click on these three dots. When we are saving direct mailers as a draft before they're sent out, you should also have a duplicate campaign. So again, if say this is a monthly postcard that you send out to your database, maybe you want to have that campaign duplicated and you just want to swap out the postcard information with say a different like client appreciation thing. You can do that by just duplicating that campaign. I'm going to click on edit campaign. We're going to cross our fingers that our configure targeting will work. Let's see right here. And then what's also cool is it did populate that image that I did add for that template of that postcard. So now that's going to be that front, and then here's going to be that back. We're going to click on configure targeting again, cross our fingers. And as we're waiting for this to load, we should be brought to this next page that shows us again on the left-hand side, those editable options, and on the right-hand side, where those postcards are actually going to go. So here we definitely have options that we can really select who these postcards are going to. So on the left-hand side right here, up at the top, it says number of homes to target, 250, because we have 250 postcards. But as we scroll down here, we have the option to select single family homes, multifamily homes, or all different types. And even more, we can kind of centralize by I need maybe 3 bedrooms, up to 3 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bedrooms is what I'm targeting. And then we can adjust our square footage to what kind of square footage we're looking for. And this updates in real time for us to be able to kind of see where our farming goes. Now, a full disclosure here, I did choose the market center location. I do believe this whole area down here is a commercial location. So that's why you're kind of seeing these homes right around here. But if we were to scroll in, you should be able to kind of see those different neighborhoods. And we can even click to and remove these specific homes as well. So If you want to say, I don't want that home and I want every other house on the neighborhood block, I can do that as well. I just go over here, hover over, and remove right here. So now I can actually, uh, be more in charge of where these postcards are being sent. You also have the choice to organize based off of year built, year sold, and last sold for. So the amount that last listing was sold for. As we scroll down here below, you do still have just that first class. So we don't have that standard mail. We have that first class. Our total is going to be $160 down here. And if we were to click next, you should see our final draft view of what our front and back postcard looks like right here. So before we proceed forward, it's always best to take a look and make sure that all of our information is correct. I believe when things are sent to print, you only have about 1 hour to cancel. So, and that hour can go by pretty quick if you're looking through and just making sure that all your things are correct. So just make sure that everything is correct before you order to print, and you should be good to go. Down here, it just kind of gives you a breakdown of what we're ordering and where they're going. And you'll put in your phone number, your email, your card number, and click on make a payment. There's one last thing that I forgot to show you over here on your postcard is you do also have an option to set up a QR code onto your postcard. You can do that by scrolling down below the preview image of that postcard. It says QR code. We can turn this on right here, which should, on I believe the second page on the back, should add a little QR code onto this postcard. And if your clients scan it, it says here that once scanned by the recipient, they will be taken to a page where their contact information is captured and tracked back to this campaign. So if you want to turn on your QR code right here, it's basically a QR code lead capture onto your postcard. And once that lead is captured, it'll also create a label or an indicator telling you where that lead was captured, which was this postcard right here. You also have the option to select a landing page. So once they scan the QR code, not only their information will be captured, but you can also divert them to a specific landing page designated to this postcard right here. Now, top of the hour, thank you so much for staying with me. Do we have any questions at all? Now, if you guys are writing any questions out, what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to put the support email in the chat box down below. Again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. And we're more than happy to answer any questions or give you guys some additional information. With that being said, again, my name is Morgan Heitzma. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Again, anything we can do, please feel free to reach out. Have a great one.